in the quarter. And the 76ers lead the Magic 31-22. Wednesday night, the Sports Talk Live crew goes to Daytona to discuss the latest in motorsports. Did the NASCAR point system work last year? Who's the favorite for this year? Find out when host Win Watson welcomes Mike Bianchi, David Lamb, and the voice of NASCAR on Fox, Mike Joy. Sports Talk Live from Daytona, Wednesday at 7 p.m. Exciting time for race fans in Central Florida and all across the USA. Steve Francis going to the basket and will get to the free throw line for the first time tonight. It'll be the first Magic free throw of the game as well.
Magic coming off that pick and roll on the strong side of the floor, drawing the double team and quickly getting it over to the other side. And this is where Philadelphia gets hurt defensively with that kind of double team and with fronting the post if you attack it. Jim O'Brien calling out to his team, watch your half-court trap. This is an ideal time to zone up against this Sixer ball club with no Iverson on the floor right now. Full court trap. See if they settle back into a zone.
Willie Green is checked in. Aaron McKee's shot is no good, but tipped in by Mark Jackson. Philadelphia working very hard on the boards tonight. After rebounding well last night in Toronto, here's an offensive rebound for Batiste. But McKee gets the loose ball for Philly. Mark Jackson just inside the three-point line, maybe a bit beyond his range. Francis defended by Iguodala. Steve dribbles around a Garrity screen. The pass to Nelson, and the shot out of the corner is no good. Offensive rebound, Francis, and a foul on McKee.
Kind of a half-hearted effort on the part of the 76ers with trying to trap that high pick, and you see how you can get an open shot with good quick ball movement, and Jameer Nelson winding up with a wide open shot. And the other thing that you get here, and it's one of the reasons why Philadelphia is not a good rebounding team with all that scrambling, is you get that those little seams and cracks to get to the offensive board, and Steve read it very well. But there's no question Philadelphia has made it a point of emphasis lately. They've been getting out rebounded so much. It's a cause of some of their losses of late, and they did out rebound Toronto tonight, and they've been much more aggressive on the boards here.
Jim O'Brien in his first year as head coach of the Philadelphia 76ers, and done a pretty good job without Iverson. You take the rest of this roster here, Matt, and not a lot of big time support around Allen Iverson on this team.
But they figured to pretty much be right around that 500 mark. They're 3 below now. They have, counting tonight, 3 home games before the All-Star break, and probably be right where they should be. I don't know why the expectations would be any higher for this group of players. But in Philadelphia, of course, it is.
They're 2 games under 500 going into tonight as Willie Green missing in close in the rebound to Nelson. Francis almost broke Iguodala's ankles with that crossover.
Yeah, Iguodala's kind of chuckling, saying thanks for not making me look real bad.
Turkoglu made his first shot tonight, and he'll get to the line on the drive to the basket. He's fouled by Aaron McKee. McKee's second personal. And after shooting no free throws in the first period, the Magic have done a better job of attacking the basket in the second. Francis already with 3 free throws in the period, and now Turkoglu rattles the first one in. Kyle Korver returns for Aaron McKee.
Yeah, Jim O'Brien does not like to keep Kyle Korver off the floor too long, whether it's with or without Allen Iverson. Of course, with Iverson out there, Korver helps spread the floor. And right now they need some kind of a scoring threat, and Willie Green will give them that.
Nelson had to steal. Garrity bats it ahead, but Iguodala hustling back gets it back for Philly. And Willie Green launches a 3. Philly going to the offensive boards, and the Magic a bit flat-footed there. Corliss Williamson with the putback. Williamson now has 9 for Philadelphia. Willie Green got a hand on it. Jameer gets it back, shoots from 20.
Must be a wet spot there.
Hedo Turkoglu deflects it away from Green. 3-on-1, Francis, and a foul on Williamson. Boy, Steve Francis is so strong, taking the ball strong and finishing despite contact from defenders. Remarkable the way he's able to do that.
Hedo Turkoglu and Jameer Nelson teaming up nicely to come up with that steal. And Steve Francis in this game picked up 2 relatively quick personal fouls, had to go to the bench, but since he has come back out on the floor, has done nothing but attack the basket, and it's always a good idea for Steve. Not only can he finish himself, but he can draw those fouls.
And Steve Francis's free throw makes it a 4-point game. 9-4 in the period in favor of the Magic. They trail by 9 at the end of the first. There's all of this with Iverson on the bench getting a break. Williamson jump hook, and it goes in over Dwight Howard. 11 for Corliss Williamson.
Dwight has to do a better job of taking that middle lane away from Corliss Williamson. He's got to cut that off, make Williamson turn to the baseline.
Howard fouled before the shot by Iguodala. That's the rookie's second. We'll be back in a moment from Philly. Tomorrow at 6, the Magic take on the New Orleans Hornets. It's Hardwood Classics 90s night, featuring halftime performance by Young MC. Get to the game early because the first 5,000 fans receive a highly collectible Discount Mattress Barn Steve Francis McFarlane figure. Great seats still available. They start as low as $10. You can purchase them online at OrlandoMagic.com, or you could call 1-800-4NBA-TICKS. Allen Iverson returns to the lineup for Philadelphia. He was terrific in the first 12 minutes for Philadelphia.
Well, David, his body is battered and bruised. He's got a partial tear of the rotator cuff. He's battling the flu. But he never forgets where his offense is. He can certainly get his own shots. Let's keep an eye on his carrying the ball. And I guess the more that he is able to do that without being called for it, the more leeway he's going to take.
And why not?
I'd be complaining a little. I'd be sending tapes. But before you play Philadelphia, load up a whole bunch of those carries by Iverson. Just put it in the mind of the officials. Even if you get only one call, it would make Allen think a little bit.
Well, now Steve Francis taking on the Iverson challenge for the first time tonight. Doug Christie started the game defending Iverson. Iverson backing in, forced a shot. Howard with the rebound. 5-point lead for Philadelphia. Iverson inside to Howard, and a foul on Dalembert, and Dwight takes a bad spill. But he comes up smiling.
Allen Iverson's last attempt to get to the basket, all kinds of contact, and didn't get the call. Stayed back there to talk to the official, and
right in the face.
Yeah, that made the Philadelphia defense break down, and Steve Francis found the open man, but Dwight Howard paid dearly for it.
Howard and Francis, the only 2 Orlando players to start all 49, now 50 games. Tonight, game number 50. By the way, for Grant Hill, it is his 48th game. And remember, 47 was the number that Grant had played in 4 seasons with the Magic before this year. So already this season, Grant Hill playing in more games than in the previous 4 years. And still strong as ever. Orlando going to zone up this time with Grant Hill on the point. Throw it inside to Dalembert, then outside to Iverson. And Iverson just steps right through there and lays it in.
Even though it wasn't sharp or crisp, just the fact that they made that interior pass against the zone made it collapse and draw it towards the basket. And now you get good opportunities when you get it back out on the perimeter with a shot or a drive.
Francis's jumper was challenged by Iverson. Here he comes, a 6-time All-Star. Going to start for the Eastern Conference out in Denver on February the 20th. Grant Hill will be a teammate. Iguodala throws it up top. Back into Dalembert, and that is so easy. It's just Not what you would expect. To be able to throw it outside unchallenged and inside unchallenged.
Now Grant Hill at the top of that zone dropped all the way down when the ball was in the corner to try to help out on Dalembert, who was set up inside, and that let Williamson catch easily, and Steve Francis gets a poke in the eye.
Drops the ball. Iverson picks it up. Dalembert drops it, so the Magic have a chance to get out of this. But Iverson makes him pay. 21 for Allen Iverson. Francis is on the deck. And the easiest steal for Allen Iverson this year, and he already ranks 3rd in the league. But he'll not get one easier than this. Let's see what happened to Steve. Right there, he got slapped right in the face. Accidentally by Allen Iverson. And the Sixers wind up scoring on the play and lead by 10.
ACC basketball on Sunday.
Online and order right now at OrlandoMagicShop.com. Doug Christie checks in for Steve Francis. Trainer Ted Arzonico continues to work on Steve. Grant Hill also re-entered for Orlando. And Philly's off and running again, leading by 10. Korver for 3. Another assist for Allen Iverson, and the Sixers build a 13-point lead.
Korver's first of the night was 1 for 4 from beyond the arc in Toronto last night. His only 3 points in 32 minutes. The 76ers in a it's a matchup zone or whatever. They very rarely play a straight 1-2-2 zone, but certainly looked like one there.
It did look like a matchup. Iverson shovels it ahead to Williamson. Well, how many field goals does Philly have at the basket?
28.
Thank you.
Since you asked.
Williamson's got 13 total. There's a nice driving shot by Hedo Turkoglu. Cut into that Philadelphia lead, now 13.
Coming out of that timeout, Allen Iverson went down on the bench to check on Steve Francis. He knew he caught him in the face or eye area. Make sure Steve was all right.
Iverson with the jumper. 15-point lead again for the 76ers. Grant Hill quickly gets 2 back for the Magic. Scoring parade in the second period. We still have 5:12 to play in a quarter. Sixers already sitting on 50. Here goes Iverson. Knocked out of bounds. Allen wanted a foul that time. Take a look at how Francis got hurt. You'll see Iverson take a swipe right there and catch Steve in the face. And there's only 3 officials out there, so you can't expect them to see everything. Williamson missing the shot. A rebound to Dwight Howard. A dangerous outlet pass, though. Saved by Doug Christie. Turkoglu driving on Iguodala. Tough defender, and Hedo missing the shot. Long pass ahead from Korver to Iverson. And a foul on Turkoglu. Boy, Allen Iverson putting on a show tonight. He puts on a show almost every night.
Just about every night. The big differences in Allen's game, sometimes he'll go one of those 7 for 24 jobs. But the thing about Allen Iverson, which makes him so tough, when he is going 7 for 24, he's getting to the free throw line 10, 11, 12, 15 times a game with his ability to draw contact.
A technical foul called on Turkoglu. Referee James Capers with that call, and Iverson will shoot the free throw, but first a technical free throw for Kyle Korver. Korver shooting 87% from the foul line, so he adds 1 more to his total and now has 8 for the night. Good news for the Magic. Steve Francis will check back in. And Iverson shooting 2 free throws for Philadelphia. He's now 6 of 6 on the line, has 22 points in the half. He's had an incredible year, his 29th year. Back-to-back 50-plus point games. Only 7 players in NBA history have done that, and Iverson did it this year. Where he's going tonight, he might Might put 50 up in this one already with 24 points in the ball game, or 25 rather now. Francis's jumper's no good, and a rebound. Iguodala. Cato getting it back, and a shot no good, but a foul on Philly. This foul on Williamson is his second, and it sends Kelvin Cato to the free throw line for the first time tonight.
Philadelphia, a very strange team in that Jim O'Brien is preaching defense all the time. I was telling everybody how his team is making progress defensively, and the statistics say otherwise, but Jim has his own statistics that prove it to him and his team and his coaching staff. But they are quite an offensive team while all that's going on, and when they get over 100 points, they are very tough to deal with. 19 and 5, yeah. When they get over 100.
Yeah, right now they're well on their way. A 15-point lead. Francis hits the deck, does not get a call, and Dalembert rifles in a jumper. Dalembert's got 6. Philadelphia leads by 17, 55-38. Began breaking this thing open in the first period, late in the quarter, when they finished the first on a 9-2 run. Francis's pass a little bit low for Dwight Howard. Iverson drops it back to Korver. Nice job by Steve to cover up Korver. And a hard shot by Samuel Dalembert. Iverson, no good. Or rather, Francis defended by Iverson. Steve upset again. Iverson for 3. Long rebound to Korver. Back out to Iverson.
How many bad shots can one team take? And I'm talking about Philadelphia. Those last two, the jumper by Dalembert, the other jumper by Iverson, and Steve Francis upset that he didn't get the call on his way to the basket as he was disrupted and maybe hit by Allen Iverson.
Steve's in foul humor to begin with because he got poked in the face without a foul call. And let's see what happened on this particular play.
Steve going a little hop here, and Allen Iverson caught him down low in the back area, leg area.
Kept his arms down and shoved him in the back
with the left arm.
A clever play.
Yeah, the officials really
so obvious.
You gotta protect the guy going to the basket. You also got to protect the guy when he was poked in the eye. It goes down in a heap.
He's done neither for Steve Francis so far tonight. Steve picking up his 15th technical foul of the season. Philly off and running off the turnover, and this time an offensive foul against the 76ers. Iguodala picking up his 3rd. Grant Hill taking the contact there.
Iguodala out of control there, trying to be aggressive and going to the hoop, but Jim O'Brien a little beside himself right now. He yanked Dalembert out of there after that horrible jump shot. Iguodala out of control. Of course, there's not too much you can do when Iverson takes a couple bad shots. Got to live with those.
But what he does like is an 18-point lead.
Yeah, that's
3 minutes to go.
He's shaking his head. How are we leading? We're not playing the smartest basketball game in the world, but the Magic are having problems at both ends of the floor and just frustrated as all get out.
Steve Francis still talking to referee James Cato. Well, we're back in Philadelphia. The Sixers opening up an 18-point lead on the Magic, 56-38, with 2:51 to play in the first half. Stay tuned for the Dodge halftime report. We'll have STL at the half as Lynn Watson and company talk about the All-Star situation, the players chosen and snubbed heading in toward the All-Star weekend. That's coming up on the Dodge halftime report. Well, Allen Iverson with 25 points in the first half of the game. Steve Francis frustrated right now. Steve with 12 to lead Orlando. Or actually, Grant Hill has 14. Those two Magic players in double figures, but been a frustrating night for Steve.
Magic looked sharp offensively early with shooting 52% from the field, but have gone ice cold. 4 for 17. Basically have stopped taking the ball to the basket with authority. Taking some bad shots.
And they've let the officiating get in their heads a little bit last couple of minutes. Howard backing in on Mark Jackson. Too strong and too high off the glass.
Well, there's just no need to hurry against Mark Jackson, who's not a good interior defender.
Jackson is a tough low post player, however. That shot no good, though. Defended well by Dwight and Cato. Grant Hill unable to finish. Iverson, his eyes light up as Cato, the only defender there, and he fires in the jumper. 27 for Allen Iverson. And a 20-point lead for Philadelphia, their biggest.
Well, the middle of last week, they pretty much said that Allen was going to have to shut it down for a while because of the flu. Not missed a minute since they said that. Had a terrific game against Memphis here earlier in the week, although the Magic lost it by, or I should say the Sixers lost it by 3. And then 30 last night in Toronto.
He might get his per game average in the first half tonight, and he leads the league in scoring at 29 per game. Williamson with great low post position. And a rebound is lost by Philadelphia.
Well, the big difference that time, though, David, was Dwight Howard took away that right-hand move into the lane from Corliss Williamson, made him turn the other way. And then the length of Dwight Howard can become a factor.
Francis on the drive, and Iverson got him. Little hand check foul on Allen, his first personal foul of the game.
And maybe the first time in 9 years that Allen has said good call. I agree with it.
When you got 27 and a half, you're in a pretty good humor, I guess.
He's usually whining about everything.
Philadelphia is over the limit, and if Francis can focus in on one rim, and hopefully he can keep shooting the free throws well. 12 points for Steve. Still a little bit shaken up after getting poked in the eye earlier in this period.
I think Steve Francis got an eyeful of Allen Iverson back in the day when Steve was growing up in the Washington, D.C. area, and Allen was at Georgetown, doing all kinds of things, his positive things for John Thompson and the Georgetown Hoyas those 2 seasons. First pick in the draft, Allen Iverson, which really didn't surprise anybody. He was clearly the most talented player coming out of that draft 10 years ago.
Well, you know, also he settled down a lot. Matt, he used to be very temperamental. This shot no good. And a long toss ahead. Great catch and finish by Francis. Well, that was a special play by Steve there to make that thing work. But Iverson with only 3 technical fouls called on him this year. Just a couple of years ago, he had 18 technicals called against him. He seems to be mellowing a little bit in his old age. Mark Jackson with the long jumper.
Well, there was always the contentious relationship between Allen Iverson and Larry Brown, and I think Allen really thrived with, for the most part. And Larry always pushing a little bit, but Allen had to show his frustration somewhere. Knew he couldn't yell at the coach, although he probably did that a time or 2.
Kelvin Cato scores for the first time from the field tonight. Only 10 seconds left in the quarter. And a 16-point lead. The foul taken by Christie. The Magic had one to give. Johnny Davis gets Steve Francis out of the ball game. Steve with 2 personals. Jameer Nelson returning. And Brandon Hunter will check in for Kelvin Cato, who also, or rather Dwight Howard, will check out rather. And Brandon checks in for the first time since coming off the injured list a couple of days back. Iverson will have his season average in the first half. 29. NBA's leading scorers got that many already. And there's a foul before the buzzer. Free throws will be coming for Jameer Nelson.
The officials are going to say that the foul was not in the act of shooting.
Well, it's a penalty situation either way.
Doesn't matter. Oh, they're going to take a look at the replay to see if the foul was committed before the red light went on, which I think it clearly was.
Yeah, that's going to be an easy one. The officials have to review it if it's close, and close enough it is. So they'll take a look at the monitor, but I would be shocked if Jameer Nelson is not going to the free throw line.
Aaron McKee getting up in years, unable to get himself under control, and a smart play by Jameer Nelson to draw that contact. Oh, I also want to see whether or not Jameer left his feet from beyond the arc. So it'll be, what are they saying, 3 or 2 free throws? 3 shots.
They're giving him 3. So a big play there. The Magic, if Jameer can take care of business on the free throw line, can cut the lead to 15. He misses the first.
Yeah.
Yeah, easily behind the 3-point line.
As of course, he landed inside the free throw line. Was Jameer ever a broad jumper in high school? That's pretty good distance.
Well, he missed that one even worse than the first. Jameer was a very good free throw shooter at St. Joe's, 79%. But he goes 0 for 3 at the end of the second quarter. And Philadelphia will take an 18-point lead into the locker room. Led by Allen Iverson, the league's leading scorer, with 29 points. Got a lot to say to the officials out of midcourt, but he can't be too unhappy with his ball club leading by 8.